BookTube, this is Amy Taylor Reviews, and I'm going to do my January wrap-up. First book I read in January was Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I loved this book. It's such a great read. I got it because it was Entertainment Weekly's best fiction book of 2014, and I thought it was fantastic. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world after a flu, the Georgian flu, wipes out 99% of the population. It takes place over several time periods. I loved the characters. I loved figuring out how they are all connected. Just the way she talks about technology and how we take it for granted. I highly recommend this book. It was wonderful. I can't say anything bad about it. The second book I read in January was State of Wonder by Ann Patchett. This book I did not love. It was okay. It takes place in the Amazon mostly. A pharmaceutical company is trying to develop a drug to cure infertility. And they have a doctor in the Amazon who has been researching a tribe. The women can produce children well into their 70s or 80s. The characters were all right. The problem I had with this book mainly was the ending. I just sort of slogged through it. The writing style was okay. I enjoyed the parts in the Amazon, but I really didn't like the ending. I've heard good things about Ann Patchett. This is the first book I've read of hers. I do plan on reading more books by her, trying different books, see if I like it better. The third book I read in January was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Now, I've been hearing about this book for so long. I really wanted to read it. It has a ton of 80s references. Basically, it takes place in a future where society's not doing so well. There is a virtual reality called the Oasis where most people like to spend their time and are much happier. Our main character, Wade, is trying to solve the ultimate puzzle. The creator of the Oasis, after he passes away, in his will, he presents a challenge and quests in which anyone who can solve his ultimate game will end up getting all of his fortunes and have total control over the virtual reality Oasis. It did take me a little while to get into the book because there's a lot of world building, which is important because you really need to understand what the Oasis is and what it's capable of. It really does a good job of establishing the rules of that virtual reality. It's interesting to see it with the stark contrast of how horrible the actual society is outside of the Oasis. I really like the 80s references, although I have to say, like, I didn't get all of them. I really need to go watch the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick, apparently. But there is one great scene involving a reenactment of Blade Runner. I love that movie. You should read it. You should read it. It's good. The fourth book I read this month was Cinder by Marissa Mayer. It's the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. I've had this on my TBR for a long time as well. I read it as an ebook. It's fairly inexpensive. I think it was only like $3. I would recommend it. It's a retelling of Cinderella. It takes place in a future where there are cyborgs and androids and AI. I like that it retold Cinderella in a new, interesting way. Although some of the things especially about our main character, are a little bit predictable. If you know the story of Cinderella, it's still very enjoyable. I also love robots and cyborgs and androids. There is an android in this book named Eco. I just love her. I want her. I want a little android to follow me around and hang out with me. She's so cute. I wish she was in more of the book. Don't expect a full resolution at the end. This book isn't self-contained. It definitely will carry over into the next books in the series. It got me really excited to read the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, so that's good. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep reading the series. I love robots. Wait, I think there's a robot over here. A little picture of a robot. Robots are awesome. Okay, that does it for my January wrap-up. I will be posting more videos. I am very excited to have started my BookTube channel, and I hope you come back to see more reviews. Thank you. Bye!